I literally saw jam as I felt the energy behind your reading, Tauruses, which tells me you guys have already done the hard part, the harvesting, and now it's time for the fun part, or the part that's kind of easier, which is to make the jam, which is you just kind of have to, cook it. And I also saw, or rather I heard, ameixa, which is a Portuguese word for prunes, which is yet another thing that's like a culinary thing that you get after you harvest a plum, and then you have to dry it. So your reading today, Taurus, is all about the phase after the hard part, where you've done literally the hard work, the hardest part of the thing that you need to do recently in your life, and now it's kind of like you're coasting, but there's still a finishing process. There is still the drying that needs to happen with the prunes. It's the cooking, and you actually have to can to make jam, you have to can it. So there's like a final finishing process that I'm getting with you. Then I've got the Seven of Wands next to the Fool here for you. So there's a sense of all you can really do is keep doing what you're doing to finish the process that you started. So if you're trying to make jam, well, you harvested the food and that's where you're at. You got the fruit and now you got to finish the process. The Fool is kind of telling me you can't really do anything else except, well, hope that it comes out well. You've already harvested it, you already have it, and you already have the plan. So you're kind of in the midst of the process of a process in your life. And there's really almost like a sense of there's no turning back. There's only seeing what comes of it. Seeing if the jam comes out right. Seeing if the prune dries correctly. And then we've got the Moon here, which is yet again a card for long-term habitual stuff. So it's like you guys are maintaining this something going that you've already done the hard part of. And it's finishing up and tying loose ends to really get something cool once this final, last little bit leg of it is over. Let's pull some oracle cards, find out more. Anything else here for Taurus? By the way, if you guys enjoy my readings and you want to support my channel, support my work, I would love it if you would show me some love and check out Patreon, which is this brand new service that I'm offering. I have more readings there. It's patreon.com at Lunar Divinations is my channel name, and links will be below. I have love readings and monthly readings, so check that stuff out. Anything else for Taurus? Okay. Oh, all right. So this is getting more interesting. We got the number 1 coming out with the book. This is almost like you don't know what to do next. You don't know what to do next after having done this difficult thing, the difficult part. And you're kind of just appreciating the fact that it's over, or that you've already done the difficult part with the Cup here. But there is an element of not really wanting people to know or see, or maybe there's a sense of privacy around the recent events that you guys have been working on, or this particular endeavor. It's kind of like you guys don't want to show the prune until it's pruned. You guys don't want to reveal the jam until the jam is actually canned in the can, and it's got a nice label on it. There is a sense, and also there's also a sense of getting your bearings before there's some kind of a reveal, because because there's a sense that this is in transition. It's like in a process, right? And so Taurus is, you guys don't want to disrupt that process, or you don't want to reveal the process while it's in midway through it. But like I said, you've already done the hard part. All you have to do is finish up this last little leg of the project. On the bottom, we do have the number 8, which is yet another number for privacy. The number 8 has a lot to do with walls and keeping yourself contained. And that's what the number 8 has to do, along with abundance and all this other stuff. But that's one of the things. So there's definitely a sense of privacy here for some of you Tauruses, and you don't want to share what this the last leg of this process is until you've actually completed the process and you have something to show for it and you have something completed. Let's pull oracle cards, or let's pull advice and see if you guys really need to be this private about this, or what else comes out. All right. Whoa. Judgment with the Ace of Pentacles, the final product, right? Look, we've got a hand literally with the Ace of Pentacles showing it, and the Judgment is like a final end result. It's the end all be all of this process. It's the canned jam with the label on it and everything. And I guess this is the advice is, there's no reason to rush the process. When it's ready, it'll be done. When you're ready to present it, that's when it's ready. I suppose there is no rush. It's a matter of having the product ready. Maybe it's just cut and dry. You know, you guys will apply this as it makes sense to your life. You guys will know how this makes sense. On the bottom, though, there is the Chariot. With the Chariot on the bottom here, it's almost like you're being led in this direction no matter what. Like, this is an inevitability. And the Chariot, and with the star after, it's an inevitability. It's faded, and it's this jam. It's like faded jam. It's faded. It's a faded prune. These are really bad analogies, but I'm going to stick with what I saw in my mind. But this is like whatever it is you're producing that you're in the last phase of and kind of completing, it's faded, and you have to complete it. Because like I said, you've already collected, you have all these raspberries. What else are you going to do with the raspberries? You're going to have to make jam, right? So you have to complete where you started. There is a sense of having to complete where you started. And also, this is part of like your fate. Like, you're tied to it. You're fated to do this. You can't get away from it. So go ahead and make that jam. I mean, that's the advice. You can't get away from making it. Or the other part of it is that it will be made at some point anyway. So regardless of whether you rush, it hardly matters. When fate's involved, it'll get done when it gets. So let's pull advice from the Oracle cards here, and then we'll close out your reading. Any last advice here for Tauruses? Any last advice? Well, you know, the number 9 with the ship here is you can relax a little. The number 9 is trying really hard, and then the ship is kind of backing off and taking a step back. Like, you don't have to try so hard, is really what this is saying. On the bottom, we have the chair. You can sit down and you can relax. I don't think there's actually as much of a rush to get the fruit canned as you think there is. The final leg of this process can take however long it takes. It doesn't seem to be, there really doesn't seem to be any rush on it. It's really the pressure you're putting on yourself. Look at the next couple cards. We've got the Manticore. That is frustration. And then the King is really kind of like an eco card. It is whether or not you feel like you've won. You're a winner, right? So it's kind of like definitely putting pressure on yourself to live up to the expectations of others with the ear here. Maybe to live up to the expectations that you've set by starting on this path, basically. Because if people know that you're making jam, people know that you were growing strawberries, and that was your intention, right? The people are expecting that jam. And that's what this is saying is, but there's no rush to present the jam to these people. There's nobody actually like waiting. I mean, you might look bad if you don't follow through the jam you promised. This is metaphorical jam, by the way. I know I keep saying it's not actual literal jam. This is metaphorical jam. However this applies to your life, whatever it is that you are finishing up, that you have kind of already let people know about, because there is an expectation surrounding it, how you're gonna look. There's really no rush. You won't look bad if you take your time, and you know, if you let it sit for a while. You're not gonna look bad if you sit on the canning process for a while. If you let the fruit dry for a really long time, it doesn't really matter. It's really more the pressure you're putting on yourself, and you don't have to put as much pressure on yourself. Just kind of like play it natural. Really, it's kind of the impression that I'm getting here. It's like the sun dries the prune, right? The sun is what kind of decides when the prune is ready. You guys are trying to overthink when the prune is going to be ready, when it's kind of like nature that decides, and there might be a feeling where that is indicative. So in this metaphorical prune, metaphorical jam, you'll know when it's ready, and there's no question of trying to pressure yourself into having something to present to people. That's not necessary. All right, so I hope that makes sense, Taurus. I know that was a little abstract, but the reading, that's how it came out. So it's abstract because it wanted to be abstract. So that's how it is. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got something out of it. Don't forget to check out Patreon and check out and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. With that, I will see you guys next time.